Who can I sponsor as a green card holder? Hi, I'm Jim Hacking, immigration lawyer practicing law throughout the United States out of our offices in San Diego, St. Louis, and Washington, D.C. Yesterday on TikTok, somebody asked me, can I have my spouse sponsor my mother for a green card? And so I thought that I would make this video to explain to you what rights you have as a green card holder when it comes to sponsoring family members. Now, when a U.S. citizen marries a green card holder, that green card holder will receive a green card. And the question is, can they sponsor their parents? Can they sponsor their children? Who can they sponsor? And here's what you need to know. When you receive your green card, you are eligible to apply for your children. And if you didn't get your green card through marriage, you can apply for your spouse. You can't apply for your parents as a green card holder, and you can't have your U.S. citizen spouse apply for your parents. Your parents are only coming if and when you become a U.S. citizen and if you sponsor them yourself as a U.S. citizen. Green card holders do not have all of the same rights and privileges as U.S. citizens. So of course, U.S. citizens can sponsor their parents, they can sponsor their spouses, they can sponsor their children, whether the children are under 21 or over 21. When it comes to green card holders then, they can only sponsor their spouses or their children, and they can sponsor their children over 21 or under 21. So green card holders generally have to wait until they become citizens to sponsor other kinds of categories like their brothers or sisters or their parents. Now, once you get that green card, it's important to keep in mind that even when you're a conditional green card holder, you can go ahead and apply for your children or apply for your spouse if you got your green card in some other way. But of course, then you wouldn't have a conditional green card. So in essence, a green card holder can only sponsor their children if they receive their green card through marriage. And if the children are over 21, they go into one visa category. If they are under 21, they go into another visa category. And it's going to be a lot quicker to bring your underage children under the age of 21 to the United States than it would be for children over 21 who are unmarried. Green card holders cannot sponsor married children over 21. They can only sponsor unmarried children over 21. And the reason for that is because the United States government has set aside visas in that category, the thought being that they want to be able to unite families in the United States, and that if people get their green card, they can sponsor their overage children for a green card. So it's pretty limited who a green card holder can sponsor, but the point I wanted to make about being a conditional resident is that when you are a conditional resident, you have all the rights and privileges of a full green card holder when it comes to sponsorship. You don't have any less or more category preferences or people that you can sponsor just because you have a conditional green card. So a lot of times people will get that green card based on marriage, and they'll ask me, Jim, should I apply myself as a green card holder for my child, or should I ask my U.S. citizen spouse to sponsor my children as the stepfather or stepmother of my child who is overseas? And this is always an interesting question, and it usually depends on when the person is asking me. If the parent is here in the United States and is going to adjust status based on that marriage to a U.S. citizen, and the child is overseas, this actually happens a lot more than you might think, then the thing to do is, I believe, to have the U.S. citizen file the I-130 for that spouse here in the United States, and then also file an I-130 for the child overseas. I don't think it makes much sense for the spouse here, the non-citizen, to wait until they get their green card, which is going to take 1.5 years, and then once they have their green card, apply for their child. I think it's a much smarter approach, if they can afford it, and if this is feasible in the relationship dynamics, to have the U.S. citizen go ahead and not only file for adjustment of status for their spouse, but also file a separate independent I-130 for that child overseas. I think it's good for a couple of reasons. Number one, it demonstrates that you're trying to unite this family, that everybody's on the same page, and that I believe the filing of the overseas case makes the marriage case look stronger. But the bigger reason is that the child is going to get here a whole lot faster filing as the stepchild of a U.S. citizen than they would waiting for mom or dad to get their green card, which, as I said, takes 1.5 years, and then turn around and apply for an immigrant visa for that child overseas. This is especially true if the child is in risk of aging out. So if you have that green card, or if you have a pending green card application and you have a child overseas who's about to turn too old, over 21, then you're probably going to want to have the U.S. citizen file the I-130 as opposed to waiting until you get your green card. You'd be surprised how many people I see actually screw this up and say, I'm just going to wait until I get my green card, when in fact they should have filed the I-130 through the U.S. citizen spouse for that spouse's stepchild. Hope this makes sense. If you have questions about how all these family dynamics interact, we answer a lot of these questions on our show. You can join us there on our YouTube channel or in our Facebook group, which is called Immigrant Home. And if you just have questions about that, join us there. If you're thinking about hiring us as your lawyer, we'd love to try to help you. Give us a call, 314-961-8200, or email us, info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com, and say, hey, I want to hire you to help me with my green card. I'm trying to get my spouse a green card, or I'm trying to bring my stepchild to the United States. Hope this helps, and we'll see you next time.